In the shifting landscape of contemporary rap, a new wave of artists has emerged, blending abstraction, personal introspection, and avant-garde soundscapes. This movement has been a renaissance of artistic expression, bringing in waves of postmodern hip-hop. The two strongest voices of this movement are Mike and Pink Siifu, whose music challenges the traditional structures of rap, embracing freeform lyricism, lo-fi production, and an ethos that prioritizes raw emotion over conformity. They pull from not only 50 years of hip-hop, but centuries of black music, bringing in an age of artistic freedom that pulls from everything before it to make something new. By rejecting the mainstream's rigid expectations, they have cultivated a space where vulnerability, experimentation, and historical awareness collide, giving birth to one of the most compelling movements in modern hip-hop. The postmodern qualities of this wave of music is a reaction to the modernization of rap over the past several years. If hip-hop of the 80s and 90s would be considered classic rap, the new millennium brought the modern form of what rap is in all of its forms. Artists linked with labels such as Stone's Throw or Def Jux developed a distinctive aesthetic rooted in complex lyricism, intricate sampling, and high-concept production. This era refined underground rap's raw, experimental essence into something more recognizable, setting new creative standards that blurred the lines between the avant-garde and what would be considered commercially viable on the underground level. On the mainstream side of things, trap has undergone a similar process of refinement since its early days in the Atlanta rap scene. As this genre gained mainstream dominance in the 2010s, it became the new ideal of what modern hip-hop was on a mass scale. Rather than continuing to refine these elements, artists like Mike and Pink Siifu deconstruct them, pushing all forms of rap into a space of unpredictability and rough edges. They embrace the foundational techniques of the 2000s underground, lo-fi sampling, dense wordplay, and abstract imagery, while being inspired by the more emotive, less lyrically dense mainstream acts of their time, fragmenting both of these styles even further, allowing their music to sound like an unfinished thought, an emotional outpouring, rather than a fully formed statement. Their work plays with nostalgia, not by imitating the past, but by distorting it, chopping up the smoothness of past movements into something that's deliberately jagged and incomplete. The result is a form of postmodern hip-hop that does not merely reference its influences, but reinterprets them in a way that challenges the listener's expectations. Pink Siifu has albums that are directly influenced by rock, soul, trap, and many other genres, all playing on its foundational layer of hip-hop of the modern era. Mike does something similar. As he's gotten older in his young career, his past few albums have gotten longer and longer, taking the listener on a journey of hip-hop that plays on his influences and dissects them through a kaleidoscope of his raw emotion. Expressionism is an artistic movement that prioritizes raw emotion and subjective experience over realism. In this way, Mike and Pink Siifu's music aligns with the principles of the movement by presenting their personal narratives in ways that evoke feeling, rather than prioritizing linear coherence. Instead of delivering clear-cut stories, their lyrics often act as poetic sketches, dense with meaning but elusive in structure. Mike, in particular, crafts music that feels like an internal dialogue, drenched in nostalgia and grief. His delivery is subdued, yet deeply expressive, allowing his voice to become another instrument within the composition, rather than the dominant focus. The murky production mirrors the hazy, dreamlike quality of memory, reinforcing an expressive approach to storytelling. Pink Siifu, on the other hand, uses irregular, shape-shifting vocal delivery that can shift from whispered vulnerability to outright chaos. His 2020 album was a prime example of expressionist intensity, as he moves between punk-inspired screams and spoken-word reflections of trauma. The erratic, visceral nature of his music makes it feel like an emotional outburst, unfiltered and deeply felt, while his work with Ali and Be Kool-Aid takes a much more internal, sensual approach, still with his tonations whispered in a haze of feeling rather than articulated to a T, letting the feeling of expression reign supreme. Mike emerged in the game a decade ago as a teenager and is often credited with pioneering the slums sound. He has crafted a deeply personal and emotionally charged body of work. His music is defined by murky, lo-fi beats that feel submerged in nostalgia. His lyrics depict his emotional memories, and his low energy, stream of conscious flow works perfectly for making each song feel like it's pouring out of him, even if the intentionality behind it is always on a level rivaled by few. What makes Mike's music so compelling is his ability to channel grief, existential dread, and self-reflection into his art without sacrificing his musicality. His beats, often self-produced under the moniker DJ Black Power, create an immersive atmosphere, full of vinyl crackles and chopped up soul samples that feel both warm and distant. His music is not about direct storytelling, but about evoking emotion, painting an abstract picture of his inner world. If Mike represents introversion, Pink Siifu embodies chaos and revolution. His work is wildly experimental, often shifting between styles and genres without warning. Siifu's ability to shapeshift across sonic landscapes makes him one of the most unpredictable and exciting artists in this movement. He refuses to be boxed into any singular identity, using his music as both a political statement and a deeply personal exploration of his own existence. One of the defining characteristics of rap's postmodern expressionist movement is its rejection of polish. These artists deliberately embrace rawness, imperfections, and a do-it-yourself mentality. The production often sounds unfinished or rough around the edges, mirroring the unfiltered nature of their lyricism and artistry. Thematically, their music explores grief, identity, systemic oppression, and the mundane struggles of everyday life, but in a way that prioritizes feeling over narrative clarity. Visually, the aesthetic mirrors the sound. Their music videos are often grainy, rejecting the Ultra HD style of media in recent years. Their videos often feature heavy distortion and color grading that captures dreamlike surrealism. The artwork on the cover of their albums often lean towards minimalism, collage-style artwork, snapshots of emotional memories, or abstract imagery, reinforcing the themes of the movement and the music that they make. As this movement continues to gain traction, it continues to evolve. When these artists came out, they were working mostly with dusty soul samples and more traditional styles, but with each year they get more bold and creative in their visions, pushing the movement forward into something amazing and unique. Regardless of where it goes, Mike, Pink Siifu, and their peers are pushing the boundaries of what rap can be in this postmodern age. They are not just making music, they are crafting sonic experiences that challenges listeners to engage in hip-hop in new and exciting ways. In doing so, they are ensuring that rap remains a space for raw, unfiltered expression, and they are building legendary careers while leading the genre into new and engaging directions. Thank you for watching, everybody. Let me know down in the comments who are some other artists you feel fit into this postmodern expressionistic movement. I hope you all have been enjoying my videos these past few months. I feel like the quality of my videos has been getting a lot better recently. And even though the views aren't reaching the heights they used to, I'm just having so much fun making this stuff for you guys, so I hope you're enjoying it too. Head over to patreon.com/DefGoldblum if you want to support the channel in any way. I have a ton of bonus stuff that I give to the patrons every single month. If you become a patron, you also get every one of my videos up to a week early, which is pretty awesome. And I am just so thankful for all of my patrons, so shout out to those guys. And as always, I got a lot more headed your way, so stay tuned, stay safe, and stay def. Thanks for watching.